Hi guys, I'm Chris from Pinetop Jackson. If you've seen this show before, you've definitely seen this Washburn. This is my favorite guitar in my collection. I just learned some new information about it. Blew my mind, man. It's gonna blow yours too. Let's check it out. The first electric guitars Washburn offered were the Wing series, sold from 1978 till 1984. They were neck-through guitars featuring brass hardware and coil tapping pickups. They were built by the Yamakai factory in Suwa City, Nagano, Japan. I bought this guitar around 20 years ago from a friend who was in a band called Hat Trick. He bought it from a pawn shop in Indiana. Apparently the pawn shop sold it as a 1969. I knew that couldn't be right, way too early. The serial number starts with 79, and knowing that the Wing series debuted in 1978, 79 made perfect sense. However, recently I've been corresponding with Michael Callahan, who runs the Dion Online website. Dion was the name of the company that distributed Yamakai guitars. Later they started producing their own Dion branded guitars, as well as the Wing series they made for Washburn. They were designed by Mr. Hiro-san, who is still alive and well and even has his own YouTube channel.
仮の YouTube 配信を生でやってるところでございます。さっきから7時になる直前からライブ配信を始め
I want to give a huge thanks to Michael Callahan and Michael Beckman. All this new info I got comes from them, and they got their info directly from the designer, Mr. Hiro-san himself. Thanks to them, we know that this Washburn Falcon was not made in 1979, but rather it was one of the first units produced in preparation for the 1978 launch of the Wing series. It was made in 1977. The first telltale sign we'll look at is these dot inlays. This is prototype design. By 79, they were a little fancier with brass rings. Next, we'll look at the control cavity. Now, this guitar has had some modifications done on it before I got it. The pickups are not original, but this shielding is. By 1979, they used a Faraday cage sheet metal cover inside the control cavity. Now, before we talk about the coil split, let's notice the input jack. These first Falcons had a top-mounted jack that was located right here. Later, they were moved to the side, which is a better location. This one was modified before I got it. The jack was relocated down here to the side, and this switch was put into place of the original jack. I think it was some kind of phase switch. It doesn't appear to do anything anymore. Now about the coil split. This mechanism is referred to as push-push, meaning you push to split the pickup, and push again to unsplit. By 1979, this has changed to a push-pull. Let's look at the serial number again. We have 5 digits plus the suffix E, 79863E. I've always assumed that the E stands for electric, but it's not been confirmed. We find the E on some serial numbers dating up to 1982. You can easily understand why I thought this Falcon was made in 1979. What I learned was that the first models used a 5-digit plus prefix serial number. Starting in 1979, they used a 6-digit plus prefix. So the earliest ones made in 1977 had a 5-digit number starting with 7. The ones made in 1978 had a 5-digit number starting with 8. Then in 1979, they had a 6-digit starting with 79. In 1980, it'd be a 6-digit starting with 80, and so on. The serial number 79863E indicates that this Washburn Falcon was the 9,863rd guitar that was completed in 1977. Guitar factories of the time, Japanese and American alike, didn't really keep good records. Any numbers given to parts were used to aid in the manufacturing process, not to help guitar nerds poring over the tiniest details 50 years later. In researching these old guitars, we often come across conflicting information. For example, there are still sites online insisting that these Washburn Wing series were made by Matsumoku instead of Yamakai, even though my fellow guitarchaeologists have spoken in person to the people from both companies and verified that it's not true. It's our job as guitarchaeologists, the self-appointed preservers of these unique slices of history, to wade through the muck, to put the pieces together to form the most accurate picture we can and keep the story alive. It is from these details, the dot inlays instead of rings, the shielding in the control cavity, the push-push split instead of push-pull, and the 5-digit serial number instead of 6-digit, that we determined this Washburn Falcon was made in 1977. Alright, I'll end this video by throwing up some specs on this guitar while you listen to the band Hat Trick. This song is called At Night She Cries. It was recorded in Indiana in 2001 with this very guitar.